everybody. Mark has had his fun telling you about our pig adventures, and that has been fun for sure. The snake adventures, not so much. But I am actually tonight making chicken saddles, which I had no idea existed or what they were for. So Mark is not going to be riding the chickens, but the roosters are riding them a little too frequently, causing them to lose their feathers. So I'm going to make a little apron for them that they call a chicken saddle to protect their backs from the rooster's tough love. Okay, so I went looking for answers about the missing feathers, and that's how I stumbled upon chicken saddles. And we visit a website called Backyard Chickens all the time, and on there I found a free pattern, which I've cut out of a Coke box, out of some cardboard. It's actually 8.5 by 8.5, and then you cut away this part. This is 3 inches wide, and then you cut away this part, so that's where their wings are going to go. So I have a piece of fabric that's 8.5 by 17 actually, because it's going to be doubled, and then I have some backing that is iron-on backing, just to make it a little stiffer and a little more protective. All right, I'm going to go ahead and draw on this with my pattern, and because chickens are of various sizes, I'm not real worried about my exact cuts, because I'm sure I'll find a chicken that it'll fit. We have several. We have about 20, I believe, and we have 3 very young and handsome roosters that like to party. So there it is, and what I'm going to do is just cut along this. I will probably actually leave this so that I'll have room for a seam. So my main focus is going to be to cut these wing holes. All right, please note that I did not cut this fold. This is an important fold because that's where the elastic is actually going to be threaded through when we're finished. So when you're sewing it up, be sure to leave room for your elastic, however thick it is, whether it's a 1/4 inch elastic or a 1/2 inch, whatever. Make sure that you leave enough room there for that elastic to go through. So now I'm going to start sewing it together. Remember that we're not going to sew all the way across here. We need to leave enough room to be able to turn it right side out. So I've finished sewing it, and I left my little hole in the seam there so that I could turn it right side out. And you know, this is a little time consuming no matter what you're making, but something to keep in mind when we were picking the fabric, we have had a problem with hawks getting our chickens in the past, and so we've protected them as much as we can from above, but we thought maybe if they had some really bright kind of distracting fabric, maybe that would help protect them even further. So we bought this bright orange and white pattern thing to keep hawks confused. So I realized that when I was cutting this out, I did not round the corners. But after I sewed it up and turned it right side out, it really doesn't matter. It worked anyway. It's just a little thicker right there. So I've cut 14 inches of elastic, and I'm going to thread it through up here where we left the hole open at the fold, and make that about even, like so. And then I'm going to sew, just to hold it in place, I'm going to sew a seam right here, and I'm going to sew a seam right here. And then I actually am going to sew a seam down the fabric like this, just to hold the 2 pieces of fabric together. So you could sew that in any pattern you wanted, I guess. It's almost like quilting it. So I've sewn our elastic right here at the fold. And now I'm going to sew just some lines to hold the fabric together. using my little snap tool, and I've got some fairly large snaps that I'm putting onto the saddle, and then I'm going to put onto the end of the elastic. All right, success. Now we're going to use it on the elastic and put some snaps on the elastic. All right, here's our finished product. We've added snaps, and what we'll do is just place this on the chicken. We'll have the snaps open like that, and we'll place this on the chicken. Hopefully she won't be too wiggly. And then bring this up underneath her wing and snap it into place, and do that on both sides. And hopefully it'll fit her nice and protect her back. I've read that it takes them a few minutes to get used to it, but then they seem to like it. So we'll see how it goes. That'll be our next episode.